Imagine walking into an art supply store in Japan. What would you choose? Watercolors, sketchbooks, pencils, everything? I chose this Holbein watercolor pencil set, 24 colors, and today I'd like to share with you my first impressions, a few swatches, and a few quick illustrations. I prepped a swatch chart in my Canson XL watercolor spiral sketchbook. This might not be a good choice of paper for regular colored pencils, but for watercolor pencils I like it a lot. It's inexpensive paper without too much texture that holds up to water and to scrubbing pretty well. The idea behind the swatches is that the top part, the part above the black bar, will remain dry. Later, when I'm done with all swatches, I'll add water to the bottom part of every swatch to see how well the pigments disperse and spread on the paper. The black bar in the center is there to indicate opacity. Most of the pencils are transparent, only 4 stood out in being opaque, such as the Chinese white. A few things to note. This set cost me approximately $40 at the Sasabe art supply store in Osaka, which puts one pencil at under $2. This is so much cheaper than in the US, where the set currently, it's May 2026 now, goes for around $100. It's one of the reasons I decided to buy the full set of 24 colors. There's also a 50 color set, but 24 is plenty for me while I was still in Japan. I also really love Holbein gouache paints and their regular colored pencils, and like the idea of having a set of colored pencils that use the same pigments as they use in the gouache paints. What I noticed right away is how nice these pencils feel. They have just the right weight, good balance, and width to them. The colors are vibrant and layer beautifully. I did a single layer, then 2, and up to 7 in the bottom third of the swatches, and it didn't feel like there was a waxy buildup. Everything went down smoothly. However, a few of the pencils were quite scratchy. I wasn't too surprised to see that the green earth pencil 065 was a bit scratchy. After all, it's a natural earth pigment that, as a watercolor, tends to granulate too. I was surprised to find that the lemon yellow 033 was scratchy though. That's usually a very fine pigment. In case you're wondering why I'm nerding out on pigments, I'm a watercolor paint maker by trade and love talking about pigments. With these pencils here, the real magic happens as soon as you apply water. The pigments disperse so well and leave no pencil marks if you do a bit of scrubbing. Not much though, it's really easy to move the pigment around. The colors are so vibrant. A quick note on light fastness. These pencils have a light fast rating with a range from 1 star to 4 stars. 3 and 4 stars being permanent, 1 and 2 will fade over time. In this set of 24 colors, only 10 are considered light fast, such as the yellow ochre and green earth. Other colors, such as the opera pink or fugitive, which comes as no surprise as fluorescent pigments aren't light fast and will fade over time. Next, I wanted to test a different paper. This is the Fabriano Venezia sketchbook with heavyweight drawing paper, which also holds up to watercolor and mixed media pretty well, at least for me. I've used quite a few of these sketchbooks in different sizes for my mixed media and really like the paper quality. First, I'm doing a few layers of single color, then layering 2 on top of each other to create a purple. The set only has 1 purple, so it's definitely interesting to see how these pencils layer. Same over here, creating orange. So far, so good. Next, I'm laying down some pink and adding water and pencil on top. No complaints here. Next, dipping the pencil in water and drawing with it. And here you can see me use a palette to draw on with the pencil directly and mix with water. It behaves just like watercolor.
Now for some quick mini illustrations. I'm trying to use all 24 pencils for these ones. My first illustration of Fujisan turned out flat and I wasn't happy with it. So for the following 2 illustrations, I tried to work with more shading and contrast. For the yuzu citrus fruit, I'm adding marks on top of the wet layer of paint, and that worked really well. While drawing the Daruman figure, I noticed how weak the black pencil is, especially in comparison to the vibrant red and orange, and went back to strengthen the line work around the eyes with purple and brown. Last but not least, I decided to compare the Holbein pencils with the Caran d'Ache Supracolor watercolor pencils. The Supracolors are my favorite watercolor pencils, and they're very similar to the Holbeins in terms of vibrancy and softness. For this comparison, I'm back to using Canson XL watercolor paper. The Holbein swatches will be on the left-hand side, and the Caran d'Ache swatches will be on the right. I don't own a full set of Supracolor pencils because I usually buy them open stock, but I was able to find 4 colors that are somewhat similar to 4 colors in the Holbein set. First up is Holbein color 037 Permanent Yellow Deep compared to Supracolor color number 020 Golden Yellow. These 2 pencils are very similar in both softness, I'd say kind of like a medium softness, and vibrancy. Up next, Holbein Brilliant Pink number 025 compared to Supracolor Pink 081. The Supracolor Pink is a bit more on the cool side, but otherwise behaves very similarly to the Holbein. Both activate easily with water. Next, Holbein Horizon Blue 104 compared to Supracolor Light Green 181. Now, these are obviously totally different pigments, but the closest I could find, and very similar in behavior and transparency. The last swatch is Holbein Jaune Brillant 032 compared to Supracolor Apricot 041. They are both opaque. I guess that they contain titanium white pigment. Even though they look almost identical, I noticed that the Holbein pencil is less light fast, has only 1 star, compared to the Supracolor, which has 2 stars.
For me personally, the light fastness doesn't play as much of a role as it might for you, as I predominantly work in sketchbooks. So this would be a typical sketchbook page of mine where I use watercolors, colored pencils, and pastels, for example, in a mixed media piece like this. For the Holbein set, would I buy the whole set again? I don't think so. As I mentioned earlier, I tend to buy open stock anyways, so single colors. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to happily use up the whole set and add it to my collection, or at least add a few of the colors to my collection of colored pencils that I have with me at all times. You can see here a bunch of colored pencils from different brands that I take with me when I go out. I like to sketch on the road, so I always have this bag with me containing a few brush pens, and then also these colored pencils. For the Holbein pencils, I will be using all of them, but for now I chose these 6 colors and swatched them down here, and I think they go well with the collection of colors that I have with me. I hope you enjoyed today's session. I'll see you again in the next video. Until then, aloha and happy creating!